Channing Frye won a title with LeBron and is also taking his side in the GOAT debate. Frye said that Michael Jordan's only job was to score, and in his opinion, LeBron is the better player all time. Oh, and he also said that guys today, really wouldn't want to play with Michael Jordan. So, Shannon, does he have a point?
Well, Skip, maybe his only job was to score, but he did that in a clip that we had never seen before, and I don't think we've seen since. Do I believe that Channing Frye was on to something? Yes, I sure do, because I don't believe that Michael Jordan had the responsibilities night in and night out that LeBron James has had to the shoulder for the last 17 years. And it's really an unfair comparison because they're so different. Michael Jordan is so different than LeBron. LeBron is so different than what Michael. The better comparison would probably be Kobe and Michael, and then Magic and LeBron, because both mainly run the team, Skip. Because if you remember, Skip, even Kobe years, Derek Fisher really was the point guard. Derek Fisher did, Skip, got everybody into the offense. But since we're debating this topic, I do believe that Michael Jordan's job was to score and play defense. And he did those things maybe as well as anybody ever, especially play the combo. Now, the scoring aspect, Skip, we can say Wilt, but that was a different era, and I'll give you that. In the 60s and early 70s, that was a different era than what Michael played in. But to play offense at that clip and to play defense at that clip, because he didn't shortchange you on either end of the court, is what made him unique. Because we saw guys that were great offensive players, but they couldn't play defense like that. Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen was hell of a defensive players, but they couldn't play offense like that. So, Skip, we maybe will never, ever see another guy that can combine what Michael combined. Kobe was the closest that could score you 30 and D someone up. But I will agree with Channing Frye. Michael has never had the responsibility on a nightly basis to do what LeBron has to do for the last 17 years. And I get what Phil said, well, if we didn't ask him to do that. Of course not. Because you had Scottie Pippen and you had other guys, B.J. Armstrong and John Paxson, that was running the point. And so MJ could just focus on scoring. So I will agree with Channing Frye. Michael hasn't had the responsibility that LeBron has had to deal with over the last 17 years. Well, you know where I stand on the GOAT debate. So whether or not that makes LeBron better, that makes Jordan better because he was able to score more and play better defense, y'all can debate that. But I will agree with Channing Frye. LeBron has had more responsibility on a nightly basis for 17 years than Michael had.
You opened your remarks by saying Channing Frye was on to something. It sounded to me like he was just on something, because this is either the funniest quote of 2020 or the dumbest quote of 2020. Shannon, he had only one job, and that was to score. Are you kidding me? You sort of just swept under your little carpet up there in your palatial estate up in Bel Air the fact that, oh, yeah, he played defense. He played defense. He was a defensive player of the year. He made first-team all-defense 9 times. Barely. You just sort of snuck it in. Like, by the way.
No, I didn't.
Just a little tiny mention. Shannon, 9 times first-team all-defense. When they needed a big defensive stop or quarter or play, he made it. And I told you earlier in the show, in '88, he averaged 8 assists a game. It's hard to average 8 assists if you're a non-passer. He wasn't a gunner. He wasn't a no-conscience ball hog shooter. I told you, Phil kept telling me if he wanted to, if they needed him to, he could average 10 assists easily, which is what LeBron's averaging finally this year. He could do that Skip, if he needed it to be done.
Skip, you're making Channing Frye's point. You're making Channing Frye's point because he was not asked. He didn't need to do that. LeBron is asked. LeBron needs to do that in order to help his team win. But you're making Channing Frye's point.
But, Shannon, it wasn't his only job. If that was his only job, he would have averaged 0 assists. He averaged 6 for his career. He could really keep everybody involved. We saw what he did getting Paxson the ball late against the Lakers, getting Kerr the ball against the Jazz in '97 late, setting them up, telling Steve Kerr in the huddle, yes, I'm coming to you, and Kerr yelling back, I'll be ready. And he hit him right in stride. He split the double team and hit him right in stride for as he approached the free throw line. He went right up into his motion. It was a beautiful pass, capped off by a beautiful shot by a little guy who was just a spare part, who wasn't even recruited out of high school. Jordan won championships with little Steve Kerr. So don't tell me he had only one job. He was the leader and the motivator of that whole basketball team. He led in ways I don't believe LeBron is capable of leading. He was the guts, the soul of the whole basketball team. Yeah, he won 10 scoring titles, but he was a defensive demon unlike any I have ever seen. So offense, defense, to your point, nobody's ever played greater offense along with greater defense than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So Channing, one job? No, he had about 7 jobs, and he did them all at GOAT levels.
Oh, you know what, Skip? I was just thinking. I remember LeBron James split the double team, split a triple team, kicked the ball to Kyle Korver for a 3, and you said that was a terrible play. Michael Jordan split the double team pass to Steve Kerr.
Missed.
You know why?
Kyle missed.
But Skip, you don't run plays, Skip. I can assure you, when you diagram a play, you don't diagram that play as like if you miss it. You diagram the best play possible, and you live with the results. That's what Tom Brady does. He calls a play. He's like, man, if Edelman dropped this pass or if Gronk dropped this pass, you can't call plays. You can't diagramming plays, thinking about what might not happen. So you make the best possible play, and you live with the results. Skip, all Channing Frye is trying to say is that the responsibility that LeBron James has on a nightly basis for the last 17 years, that was never on Michael Jordan's plate for that extensive of a time. Were there games, Skip? Because I think there was a stretch, Skip, he had like 7, 8, maybe even 9 triple-doubles where he was asked and he had to do that. But I'm saying on a nightly basis, night in and night out, year in and year out, for 17 years, nobody has had, well, first of all, nobody's played at the level that LeBron is playing at for this length of time, and to have had that responsibility. So I believe that's what Channing Frye is getting at. Michael wasn't asked to rebound the ball, to assist the ball like LeBron, while LeBron still averages 27, Jordan averaged 30. So if you look at the assists and rebounds total, they're substantially lower. And you're like, well, Jordan averaged 6 rebounds and 6 assists. But you do that. So LeBron is averaging an assist and a half or 2 rebounds per game. 82 games for 17 years. After a while, that adds up, and you see just how the discrepancy is between LeBron and Mike as far as rebounding and assisting the basketball. I believe that was the point that Channing Frye is trying to make, and it's a very compelling argument, and I happen to agree with it because that's the argument I've been making.
Yeah, well, then you're as wrong as Channing Frye. And by the way, Shannon Sharp, what do you always tell me when relatives or close friends speak out for a star against another star?
Yeah.
What conclusion do you leap to that they're hearing it from the star himself? I believe Channing Frye was simply repeating what LeBron James has told him. Well, Jordan just had one job. Yeah, that came straight from the you-know-who's mouth, and not the goat's mouth, the horse's mouth, or in this case, the horse's you-know-what. No, he was...
Did he lie?
No, he's just flat out wrong. No, yes, he lied because this cinched the fact for Channing Frye that LeBron will do his podcast, once every 2 or 3 months? So, Channing, way to go. No. Your podcast is saved. It's okay because LeBron's going to be on your podcast from here on out.
Oh, stop it.
You earned your points with LeBron. You did what you were sent to do. You accomplished your mission.
This is what I don't understand. Is that when somebody heap praise on Michael, you see, that's Charles Barkley, you heard what he said, or Magic Johnson, or Larry Bird, or whomever the player may be. Oh, you see what he said? That's an all-time great. But if anybody says anything positive about LeBron James, That's LeBron James. LeBron James told him to say that. So why can't someone have an opinion about LeBron and it be positive? Must all opinions, and that's what we've seen mainly since this documentary come out, is that all the opinions about LeBron has been negative. All the opinions about Michael has been positive. And I get it. It's his documentary, and that's what normally happens, Skip. Movie comes out, people say positive things about people. I got no problem with that. But this notion that all of a sudden, that now we're seeing this documentary, it's made LeBron James a worse player. How? LeBron James is still averaging 20, 25, 10, and 8.
It has opened the eyes of even the blind witnesses out there, the billions of blind witnesses, the LeBron lovers. They're seeing, oh, my God, he was that, and he was that. We didn't get that he was really that. And I think even deep down, every LeBron lover now knows what the truth is. The truth is LeBron wasn't in this man's league. And in the end, Channing Frye even had to reach for that guys today would not want to play with Michael Jordan. Baloney. Maybe you, Channing Frye, wouldn't want to play with him because what were you, Channing Frye? Wait a second. Channing Frye was a soft 7-footer who only shot 3. He averaged 4.5 rebounds a game at 7 feet for his career. He was soft. Yeah, he might not have lasted with Michael Jordan. Michael would have torn him up. And maybe he would have toughened him up, or maybe Channing Frye would have run out the back door crying, somebody get my mommy. In the end, that's exactly the kind of guy Jordan didn't want on his team. So I'll give Channing that. He wouldn't have made it with Michael Jordan, for sure.
Skip, I think the thing is now is that, having covered the game, the things that coaches do, Skip, coaches used